All right. Brian here. We're going to talk about a couple hands, and I got a little whiteboard here to help visualize for you all. Let's get into it. These are the hands I got into over the weekend that are worth talking about, and definitely had some controversy in a few, so I'd love to hear your guys' comments on what you guys think on how they went down. All right, first hand we're going to talk about this drunk villain sitting next to me a couple times. So you can see me sitting in the one seat, and I got a drunk and dumb, bad player, semi-intoxicated, sitting next to me on the left. So we'll start off with a couple hands I get into with him. Right away, he gets kind of low stacked, and I have ace queen, and he has ace five. We get it all in pre-flop. Long story short, and he spikes a five, and I double him up. And then I'm like, not too worried about it. It's about $100, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just get this back from him. A couple moments later, we get king, seven, and I'm not gonna tell you his hand yet, but here's the run out. Flop comes king, seven, deuce, rainbow. So no straight draw, no flush draw. It's pretty much the best board in the world. He bets $25 when I check. I get it all in with him. And the run out comes a deuce and then a king. Okay. So king's full of sevens. This is a pretty good board. If he has something like ace king here, which he could have overplayed a king on this flop, he would have kings full of deuces. I'll have kings full of sevens. This is just a beautiful dry board, and you most of the time would love to see it until I tell you that he was ahead the whole way. He was ahead pre-flop, he was ahead in the flop, he was ahead in the turn, he was ahead in the river. You can guess what he has, pause the video, try to guess. I'll tell you, it was pocket deuces. So, yeah, flop to set, turn quads. What do you know? So, the drunk lucky guy gets me again. And we move on, and we start getting some back. One way we get some back is going to be against the 8 seat. It's a girl, doesn't really know. Right before the girl, there's a guy there, and he raises the 10 under the gun, and I call with 9, 10, and I'm feeling lucky with 9-10 lately, and I just really quickly called. It felt like I just was going to be good. And the flop comes, 6, 7, 8. So I have 9-10, and it comes 6, 7, 8. It's a pretty good flop for 9-10, I think. I'm told that's a good flop for 9-10. Pretty sure we call that the nuts. So he leads out 25. I think he has an overpair at this point because this is pretty aggressive. So I decide I might as well try to get it in now before a scare card comes. I raise to 50. He jams all in. I snap, show him the hand without saying call, and he just starts laughing. And then I obviously push my chips over the line. And then he shows me jacks, and the run out's clean. I win, get some money, and that guy leaves. A couple minutes later, a girl sits down. She doesn't seem to know what she's doing. She sits in that seat, and buttons over here in the 4 seat, a couple limps. So I kind of limp in position with a 4, 6 of diamonds. And the flop comes 3, 5, 7. So I have 4, 6, and the flop comes 3, 5, 7. It's a pretty good flop. Everyone checks around. I bet the minimum, actually, $3. And small blind, big blind call. The 8 seat, which is this girl that doesn't look like she knows what she's doing, and she definitely doesn't, raises the 25, and I call. The small blind, big blind fold, and on the turn, she bets all in. I call, and I show the nuts, and run out's clean. She doesn't show her hand. So we flop another straight and get paid basically the maximum of someone's stack. We knock that seat out again. All right, next hand I want to talk about is, oh yeah, I get pocket threes. So let's write threes. And I'm feeling lucky, actually. And I feel like I'm going to flop a set. Now, this guy over here raises in the 4 seat. And we get some calls over on the right, and I call. And the flop comes 10, Jack, 3. And these are 2 hearts. Whoop. These are hearts. So straight draw this time and a flush draw this time. So this is not like the King 7 Deuce Rainbow where we had no straight draw or no flush draw. There's a straight draw and a flush draw. That's double scary because both straights and flushes beat sets. So he bets continuation. I raise and re-raise, yada yada. We get it all in on this flop. Now the turn is before I even see the turn though, I show my set. I'm like, I got a set, and he says I got some outs. I'm like, I bet you do. And I turn quads, so I turn quad threes, and he looks at me and he goes, I got outs. I'm like, no fucking way. And he goes, open-ended straight flush draw. I'm like, what? You actually have open-ended straight flush draw? And he shows me 8, 9 of hearts. So he has 8, 9, 10 Jack of hearts. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm sweating with quads. Like what? And I already lost the quads tonight. Like with top boat. Like so gross. So the run out, I don't remember because he misses. Hell yeah. Thumbs up in chat. Make sure you hit the like button or something. So we win there. Knock that guy out. This is a nice night. That was actually the last hand, one of the last hands of the night on Saturday night. And on Saturday night, I ended up cashing out $888. So it was a pretty good night. All right, the next hand was also on Saturday night, but this was a little bit earlier. We just ran out of order for some reason. Is Ace Queen. So I have Ace Queen. And so what's happened is the 2-seat drunk dumb person has moved over to the 4-seat now because he changed. And there's a new player in the 3-seat. And a very interesting hand happens where I get a queen, jack, 7 flop, and I have ace queen. Now, the button's in the 3-seat, okay? And the villain is first to act, the drunk villain, and he lifts his cards up really high and shows the 3-seat, basically, okay? And now the dealer goes, well, man, you lifted your cards too high and showed the 3-seat. I need to call the floor. The floor comes over and says, hey, you're going to need to expose your hand, but it's still live. So they expose his hand. And they expose King 10. Okay? So now he's got King 10. I've got Ace Queen. He's got open-ended straight draw. I've got top pair. I'm beating him, yes. Now, it's his turn to act on this flop with an exposed King 10. And there's other people in the hand. The 3-seat's in the hand. There's another person over here. He bets $35. This was already a raised pre-flop. I think I raised pre-flop and there were some calls too. So this is already a significant pot. He bets 35. The next guy snap calls. I go ahead and decide here that the way this guy's been playing and the way mood he's in, he's going to go all in if I raise. So if I make a raise of 70 or more or any amount, he's going to snap all in for about $350. Now, I thought about it. I do have an ace blocker for his straight draw because he needs an ace for a 9 for a straight, and I have an ace blocker. But he also has a king, so that's 3 more outs. So that's now bringing him up to 10 outs, actually. He's 10 outs that actually beat me. I know I'm still the favorite here mathematically, you know, but I do want to say I didn't feel like gambling $350 with one pair versus an open-ended straight draw. Now, had he not exposed his hand and he just bet 35 and that guy called 35, I would have raised. Not knowing his hand, I would have raised 100%. Knowing his hand, it felt different, you know, and I didn't raise. Tell me what you guys think. I didn't raise. I probably should have, especially with the ace blocker, but I didn't. And then the turn went check around. The river, I landed a queen for 3 queens, and he missed a straight draw. And then I didn't make any more money after that 35 bet on the flop. And I don't know. I think I should have raised there, knowing his hand, knowing my hand. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. It was kind of a weird spot, but whatever. I made, $100 in the hand or something. So it's not the end of the world. I don't know. It's just a weird spot. But he definitely jams there like 1,000,000% of the time if I raise. So that's just like, do I really want to gamble $350 with one pair versus him having 10 outs? Not really, right? All right, next hand. Okay, there's one other good player at this table on this Saturday night, and I know he's good because after he folded an open-ended straight draw on a flop where the math was pretty good for him, but he said this math isn't good for me and showed it open-ended straight draw and folded, and everyone was like, what? And so I could tell he at least knew math and knew stuff about poker. And that was when he was up. He was sitting with like 500 at that point. So he's folding open-ended straight draws when he's up and he's confident. Now later on, he's losing and tilting and like visibly tilting and even saying the words at one point, I'm on tilt. So I know he's tilting. I get into a hand with him. Now I decided to play it a little sneaky. I have pocket 9s. Okay. And I don't raise pre-flop, and he does raise. He raises to $15 and I call pre-flop. And the flop comes king. Look, it was 6, 5. Now I check and he bets 15 and I call 15. Turn comes 7. I check. He bets 30. I call. So I've done check call, check call. The river is a blank deuce, and I check, and he bets 50. So I'm thinking in my head, this kind of feels like he's probably got a king. He's bet every street, but 50 is kind of much. If he wants a call, that is. 50 seems more like about I'd bet if I didn't want to call. And then at the same time, I start talking to him, and we get into a little bit of a conversation for about a minute, and I kind of determine that he feels pretty weak. I say something like, at one point, this is my move I always do, and this is a very, very popular question in poker. You say, would you show me if I fold? Now the common answer, if the person doesn't know what's going on, if they've only been playing like whatever a year or two, and they don't really understand this question, they're gonna say the answer is gonna mean this. They're gonna say, if they're bluffing, they're gonna say yes, they'll show because they want you to fold and they want to win. Now if they say they're not gonna show, it's because they have a good hand, right? That's just like the most common answer. But people know this answer and then start reversing it. If they've heard this question once, they'll reverse it. And I think this guy's been playing long enough that he would know that and know that I know that he's going to reverse it. So I think he's going to double reverse it and then just be honest. And then he ends up saying, yes, he'll show. And the way he was also kind of like acting uncomfortable and then admitting yes, he'll show, it felt like a genuine bluff. And I was like, you know what? And I even picked up my hand. I was like, are you going to show me if I fold? And I'm picking up my hand ready to fold it. And he goes, yes. And then I pulled it back and was like, yeah, it feels like you have no pair, bro. And then I called the 50. And then he was like, nice call. And then he showed me Queen Jack. So Queen Jack, he had nothing. He was just trying to take it down. He had gotten too committed on his bluff. So 9s won, 9s win. And it was just really just having a little 1-minute conversation with him. I don't remember everything that was said, but it was just like, you could tell he didn't want me thinking longer or calling his $50. So I had to call. And those are the type of hands that, can swing your night to positive or negative. That's like a, $150 pot or something. So it feels good to scoop those with just a little one pair. And I never make that kind of pot too if I ever bet it. It's like sometimes you gotta slow play your one pairs just to let someone bluff with their ace high or queen high in this case. So next hand, oh gosh. All right, so now we're getting into the hands that happened just this morning, like a couple hours ago. Just like the sunrise morning, you know. So I have queen 10, and I decide to raise in position. So these seats are actually different now. We'll just, I'll show you where I'm actually sitting. So if this is the dealer again, where the dealer is, I'm sitting over here now. Yeah, I'm over here. This is me. Okay. So now we're here. I raise with queen 10 in position. I have the button. Okay. And flop comes king jack. I have queen 10. Flop comes king jack. X. Don't matter. And dude checks. I bet. And turn comes a jack. Dude checks. I bet. River comes a blank. Dude checks. I bet $100. I'm like, this guy, no way this guy's going 100. He's check, call, check, call. And then he snap calls the 100. He turns over pocket aces. And I'm just like, what just happened? I'm like, there's no way he just had aces there. I normally can sniff out aces. That was the weirdest aces play I've ever seen. Maybe I'm getting tired. And then I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to win the next hand and get this money back right now. Very next hand, I have 5-9. Okay, I'm in position again. No one raises, so I call. Now the new guy with the button over here next to me, he decides to raise to 15. And because there's like two callers over here, I call. So it was raised 15, a couple calls, and I call. And I have 5-9. And the flop comes 4, 7, 8. So I flop a gut shot. Right? I need a 6. I need a 6 for a straight. I have a gut shot. And we check around to the button who continuation bets $25. And other guy calls, and then I decide I'm gonna win this hand. I'm here for a reason. You know, I missed my straight draw on the previous hand, so now I'm in a gut shot. The turn comes to 7, and it checks around, and then the river comes, the beautiful 6. And it's actually a 6 of diamonds, and there's 2 diamonds on the flop, so it does complete a flush. But it checks to me. I bet out $60. And then the button immediately calls me and shows me pocket aces. And I'm like, what? How do you have pocket aces here? I didn't see that coming at all. So 2 hands in a row, I run into aces. But this time I smash my gut shot. I get there, and I snap off the aces. So that was pretty good. Can we see this board all right? Yeah, we can see it all right. Cool. Now, next hand. All right. I have 6, 7. 6, 7. Okay, and this time oh yeah, this is versus a lady. And she raises pre-flop to 20, and there's like 4 callers. So I call on the button with 6, 7. And the flop comes, what was it? Oh yeah. Jack, 3, 8, all hearts. Jack 3, 8, all hearts. And the woman leads out $20. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, it feels kind of weird for her to lead out here with 20. It's kind of a weak bet into all this money. At the same time, if she has like hearts here, she wouldn't be betting. And everyone else that's like only calling this bet is also not even considering a raise right now. So it just kind of feels like a spot of steal. So I raised the 120, and then she's thinking about it, and I'm just like kind of in shock that she's thinking. And I'm like, wow, is my read wrong? Like, I'm pretty sure she just has like a pair without, probably not a heart. And then I'm like, man, I need to get her to fold. What do I say? And then I think to say this, I go, you got aces or kings? And And then she looks over at me kind of like quickly, and then turns over her hand within like 1 second, and it's aces with no heart. And I'm just like, yeah, aces. And then she goes, damn, hearts. Throws it away. And I'm like, yeah, I have a flush. And obviously I didn't have the flush at all. I didn't even have a single heart. It was just a pure bluff, thinking that she wouldn't have been betting with already a flush or even a strong heart there for only $20. It just felt out of place. So luckily I said out loud her exact hand, and it made her fold though, so that was good. I don't think she was about to call unless she had the ace of hearts. Then she would have been instantly raising, right? Next hand is, oh god. So I'm on the button for this one with kings. You've heard this story, button and kings, huh? My last video. All right, so someone in early position makes it $10, and then someone 2 to my right makes it $35, and have kings on the button. I'm like, okay, $100. And then the guy who made it 35 goes all in for $210. And I'm just like, dude, there's no way you're like 5-bet raising me without aces here. I can just tell he has aces. But because it's only $110 more, it's like, even if he shows me the aces, I basically have to call. Because it's like, it's stupid. I'm just way too committed at that point. I wish I had made 100. I wish I had min-clicked it to, you know, like, not even 70 to like 60, and then watch him jam, and then I know he's aces for sure. Like, it felt so much like aces. I should have folded, saved my 110, but I didn't. I called, and of course he has aces, and kings lose. But what are you gonna do? That's life. That's poker. Sometimes you run kings and aces. Sometimes it's such a small bet that you can't fold, even though you know they have it. And cool. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope I got it all out. This also kind of like helps me vent. I don't know if you're still here this late in the video, but if you are, thanks. Appreciate it. Leave me a comment or a like. And yeah, like I was saying, it's good for me too, just to say all the things about these hands. Helps me remember stuff, remember how to play, remember how I played, maybe think of my mistakes. Maybe do a whole video of just mistakes, because, you know, they do happen, but it's more fun to talk about the wins. Peace.